Call Stuart Smith, 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. As my colleague said before, I commend the Justice and Electoral Select Committee for their work, and Amy Adams for bringing this bill before the House, the Objectionable Publications and Indecency Legislation Bill. And I take on board what was said by Mr. Farfoy earlier. It's not something that gives anyone any pleasure to speak about, but we are here to do the right job for New Zealanders, and that means doing sometimes the tough things, as we saw earlier in the day today. Mr. Speaker, I also was taken by Poto Williams's comments before, and I absolutely agree with what she said. However, it is such a difficult thing to deal with at that end, and we can't give up on it, but trying to ensure that there is no market for this material would of course be the best solution. But unfortunately we're living in a world where we have this situation now, and we have to deal with what's in front of us. But I agree wholeheartedly that we need to look forward and spend some time thinking about how we might make some ground on that. I know, as a member of the Social Services Select Committee who's been dealing with an inquiry into sexual violence, it's not a pleasant subject and it's not an easy one to grapple with, and certainly Indecency and Publications Bill is dealing with the sharp end of that. Mr. Speaker, I note that this bill is increasing the maximum penalty for possession and import or export of an objectionable publication from 5 years to 10 years imprisonment. And too often I think we think of imprisonment as punishment, and that indeed is what it is there partly for, but it's also there for protection, and protection for the innocent people left out behind. And I think that we mustn't ever forget that. And really, for some people you would think maybe getting out of prison is not an option, particularly in some of these hardened cases. So I applaud that clause in the bill that moves it out from 5 to 10 years. I think that's a very good move. Also note that increasing the maximum penalty for distributing and making an objectionable publication from 10 years to 14 years imprisonment likewise is also a good move, and something I wholeheartedly support. It seems to me at the heart of this bill is really a change in technology, and I note that this bill is really looking forward and trying to future-proof the law for future, and it is something that we really must think of in all of our legislation that we put forward, because times change, and while we really think Facebook is really, it's in everybody's lives today, it's not that many years ago that Mark Zuckerberg came up with Facebook. How many years ago was that, Greg? 10? 15? 4? 4? No. 2004. So it's not that long ago. 10 or 11 years ago. And yet everybody, I'd imagine, in this House today has a Facebook account. So I think we now know that some people have their employment, before their employers take them on, look at their Facebook accounts and see what they can find. And for some young people being caught with indecent publications in social media, it's with them forever. So it's really important that we get on top of this pretty quickly. And I think what we would have thought of as being pornography and indecent publications only a few years ago would have required some sort of hard copy. Today it is digital. Who knows what it will be in the future? Holograms are only just around the corner. So I think we really need to ensure that we get a good legislation, and this bill is going a long way towards that, and I wholeheartedly support it. And I am rather disappointed in colleagues in New Zealand First. I really think their attitude on this bill is a triumph of ideology over good sense, and really they should take a bit of a hard look at themselves on this one. So, Mr. Speaker, I take great pleasure in commending the bill to the House. Thank you.
Members, this debate is concluded. The question is that the motion be agreed to. Those of that opinion will say aye. To the contrary, no. The ayes have it. The ayes have it.
Objectionable publications and indecency legislation bill, second reading.
This bill is set down for committee stage next sitting day. Call on Government Order of the Day number 4.